Volunteering is something that we all do. Volunteering puts communication into full effect while creating change within our community. I'm Christina Blair, communication student at the University of Arkansas in Little Rock, and I was able to do this and refresh my memory on the principle that behaviors are learnable and the concepts that of perception of others, nonverbal communication, and listening. So to start off, I guess I could share my experience with you, and I acknowledge this work to be completely on my own, and I worked with the organization CARE, or the Central Arkansas Rescue Efforts for Animals. To give a little background, according to the Care for Animals website, careforanimals.org, their mission is to rescue, rehome, spay, and neuter. The animals that are in the CARE organization are not in a shelter, more of like a virtual shelter. So they volunteer via fostering, and they're in the Arkansas Pause for Prison program, which is a program that temporarily houses animals with inmates, and they are able to teach them basic commands to sit, heel, they're leash trained and potty trained as well, which is really, really nice. They primarily operate via volunteers, and so for the paws and clinics, they're able to successfully have a spay and neuter effort. They've taken care of nearly 12,000 pets, and this is in the paws and clinic as well. Like I said, they rely heavily on volunteering, and this past Sunday afternoon, I was able to volunteer at their location, which is in the Heights on Kavanaugh Boulevard, and it's this cute little building right there. And my tasks were basically to be in charge of a pet that I took care of Dixie that day. And I basically talked about the program and also talked about her. So there's that. And I informed individuals about the other adoptable pets as well. The first communication principle that I learned was that behaviors are learnable. And according to the Euler Survival Guide 2018, we learn to communicate in ways that will impact the situation, both positive and negatively. I use this because I spoke to a lot of individuals that day, and it left an impression about both Dixie and the organization CARE, and that ultimately determined the adoption interest that those people had. There was also a couple of communication concepts, first concept being the perception of others, and according to the Adler, Rodman, and Dupree 2017, it's how we communicate to individuals based on the way that we view them. I also had this as well because as I was speaking to the individuals, I was able to focus on whether or not they were interested in the situation or in the pet itself, which ultimately led to their interest in the organization and whether or not they wanted to adopt Dixie. The second concept is nonverbal communications, which according to Adler, Rodman, and Dupree 2017, is messages expressed through non-linguistic means. Again, I did this, I spoke to a lot of people that day, and I had to not only focus on their nonverbal communication, but mine as well. And so for myself, I had to appear comfortable and calm with Dixie, so that way others were comfortable as well. And by appearing comfortable and calm, I relayed the message that Dixie was a wonderful pet to be around and she could be handled well. Had I been nervous or uncomfortable, others would have been stressed out and they probably would have steered away from Dixie and even the concept of adopting her. One concept that I probably should have improved on was listening, and the Adler, Rodman, Dupree 2017 states that it is turning sounds into meaning to provide an advantage to the situation. It would be able to analyze, understand, and respond accordingly, and then I would have been able to fully promote Dixie and her adoption even more. Basically, I talked just about Dixie, and I didn't really venture off and listen to what the people that I was around wanted. And so I just wanted to get Dixie adopted, and I wasn't able to, you threw me off. I wasn't able to have the goal of maybe potentially adopting others as well. An improved communication concept was, or an ethical implication rather, is caring with grace. And according to the Euler Survival Guide 2018, is to understand the meets and needs of people that we interact with. The goal that day was to choose a forever home for the animal and the family that best fits that animal as well. I needed to understand what is expected from both parties to ensure a successful adoption for both Dixie and the parties that were interested in Dixie as well. All in all, my experience really opened my eyes and it helped me create change to a social issue of my choice. It refreshed my memory on the principles and concepts such as perception, nonverbal communication, listening, and caring with grace. Care is a voice for the voiceless. Animals like Dixie have a home and a family to give them unconditional love. And through this organization, we were able to keep pets out of shelters and adopting instead of shopping. Thank you.